Hey, what's up, guys? Let's go back to the beginning of this PCA and let's see if we can find any discrepancies and holes in it, which I know that there is. Okay, based on numerous interviews conducted by MPD officers, ISP detectives, and the FBI agents, as well as my review of evidence, I have learned the following. Now, this is Brett Payne talking. On the evening of November 12th, Chapin and Kernodle, as seen by Bethany at the Sigma Chi house on the University of Idaho campus from approximately 9 p.m. to on November 12th to 1:45. Well, we've all seen conflicting statements with that. One time says from 8 p.m. to midnight, and then another time shows that they're only there for an hour. Gonzalez and Mogan were at a local bar, the Corner Club, in Moscow, Idaho, and Mogan can be seen on video footage provided by the Corner Club between 10 p.m. on November 12th and 1:30. And we all know that Mogan was very highly intoxicated that night. At approximately 1:30, Gonzalez and Mogan can be seen on video at a local food vendor called the Grub Truck in downtown Moscow. The Grub Truck live streams video from their food truck on the live streaming platform Twitch, which is available for public viewing on their website. This video was captured by law enforcement. A private party reported that he provided a ride to Gonzalez and Mogan at approximately 1:56 from downtown Moscow in front of the Grub Truck to the King Road residence. Okay, this must be the private driver, Eric Gower. DM and BF both made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were at home by 2 a.m. and asleep or at least in their rooms by approximately 4 a.m. Now, this is where I have a problem with, because at 2:54, the body cam for those officers that was doing the alcohol stop turned on. And then during the alcohol stop, when they were up by that fire hydrant, you could clearly see 4 individuals running from the crime scene, or at least from the direction of the crime scene. But that's just all hearsay, according to them, because the only one that matters is Brian coming into suspect vehicle 1 coming into the scene at 3:26. So you have all this activity going on around the house between 2:54 and 3:16. But yet none of that matters. Why does none of that matter? Is it because they have their patsy? This is with the exception of Kernodle, who received a DoorDash order at approximately 4 a.m. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. Okay, well, who was the DoorDash delivery driver? It says they identified the DoorDash delivery driver. We haven't seen any proof of that. Now, DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast corner of the second floor. DM stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she had stated sounded like Gonzalez playing with her dog. in one of the upstairs bedrooms. Does she really know that was Gonzalez? No, she don't. Which were located on the third floor. A short time later, DM said she heard who she thought was Gonzalez saying to the effect, there's someone here. A review of records obtained from the forensic download of Kernodle's phone showed this could have also been Kernodle, as her cell phone indicated she was likely awake and using the TikTok app at approximately 4:12 a.m. That's not a proof of life. TikTok activity is not a proof of life. The DoorDash delivery is not proof of life. Those phone calls Kaylee and Maddie made is not proof of life. DM stated she looked out her bedroom, did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. DM stated she opened her door for a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room. Now, here's the conflicting statement, guys. DM then said she heard a male voice, saying to the effect, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Now, here's the conflicting part. DM stated she opened her door for the third time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose. Walking towards her, DM described the figure as 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The male walked past Dylan as she stood in a frozen shock phase. The male walked towards the back sliding glass door. DM locked herself in her bedroom after seeing the male. DM did not state she recognized the male. Even if she did, I don't think she would state that she did. This leads investigators to believe that the murderer left the scene. Okay, where I have a problem with her statement, well, for one, the figure she described is basically a generic description of anybody in the area, on the campus. It's a generic statement. 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. That is a generic statement. That exact description could be applied to everyone in the area and surrounding area. And I do not believe the 8 hours of frozen shock phase. I don't. And the conflicting statement. She opened the door for the second time and heard the sounds of Xana crying. And then a paragraph later, she opened the door for the third time after what she thought she heard was the sound of Xana crying. Which one is it? The combination of DM statements to law enforcement and reviews of forensic downloads of records from BF and DM's phone and video of a suspect vehicle as described below leads investigators to believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. I have a huge problem with that time frame. from 254 to 316. That's when all the activity is happening around that, in the direct vicinity of that house. You have that gentleman over there off of Linda Lane, tossing something into a dumpster, and then walking up the path and clearly getting on his phone. And right around that time, there was a huge scene there in Pullman. Carmen Hernandez, who ran over those two students, and the entire area was police, first responders. So how could Brian get out of the house at 2:47 when the scene was going on with the search for the suspect vehicle that had ran over those two students or those two pedestrians? And that was a very huge scene. This It don't make no sense. Brian's the patsy here, and the IGG will not make it into court, will not make it into the trial, because this next hearing coming up, watch Ann Taylor start filing motions to suppress evidence. The IGG, the knife sheath. Even Cy Ray stated the cast report was not complete. Mowry made the cast report without using cell tower data or AT&T records. That's a huge blunder on his part. And then you had Brett Payne at the last hearing, who looked like a complete moron on the stand. When he was asked by the prosecution, well, who told you to say all this? Well, you did. And then Brett Payne's comments, well, I always have people do my work for me because they're smarter than me. So clearly there's something going on in this case that, why do you think the prosecution is sealing everything up? And I understand it could be for a fair trial, but you don't see that in the Rex Heuermann case. You don't see that in Karen Reed. You don't see that in the Chad Daybell case. You don't see that in the Delphi case. You don't see that in the Sebastian Rogers case. And what you don't see in all those cases either is a gag order. So, exactly what is going on in this case? As part of the investigation, as an extensive search commonly referred to in law enforcement as a video canvas, was conducted in the area of the King Road residence. The video canvas was to obtain any footage. Sorry, my 9-year-old came into the room. This video canvas was to obtain any footage from the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, in the area of the King Road residence and surrounding neighborhoods, in an effort to locate the suspect vehicle traveling to or leaving from the King Road residence. This video canvas resulted in the collection of numerous surveillance videos in the area from both residential and business addresses. I have reviewed numerous videos that were collected and have had conversations with other MPD officers, ISP detectives, and FBI agents that are similarly reviewing footage that was obtained. A review of camera footage indicated that a white sedan, hereby suspect vehicle 1, was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive in Moscow. Approximately 326 and westbound to Steiner Avenue at Idaho State Highway 95 in Moscow, approximately 328. On this video, it appeared suspect vehicle 1 was not displaying a front license plate. A review of footage from multiple videos obtained from the King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 starting at 329 and ending at 420. These sightings show suspect vehicle 1 make an initial 3 pass by the 1122 King Road residence and then leave via Willenta Drive. Okay, maybe this person's just driving through the neighborhood. Based off of my experience as a patrol officer, this is a residential neighborhood with a very limited number of vehicles that travel in the area during the early morning hours. Upon review of the video, there are only a few cars that enter and exit this area during this time frame. Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area a fourth time at approximately 4:04. It can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping and turning around in front of 500 Queen Road, and then driving back westbound on King Road. Okay, here's what the part that gets me. Whoever did this crime, whoever was driving around the neighborhood, are they really that stupid to get picked up on camera? Are they? Especially someone who is supposed to be really, really smart. If they were really smart, then why bring your cell phone? Why drive your personal car? Why let your car get seen making numerous passes in front of the King Road area? As well as Queen Road Apartments, Linda Lane. There's just stuff that doesn't match up here, guys. And why was Brian's car not spotted on any videos on where they said that he was leaving the area? Like the smoke shop and the cannabis shop. His car wasn't spotted on video. After reviewing the numerous observations of suspect vehicle 1, the forensic examiner initially believed that suspect vehicle 1 was a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Upon further review, he indicated it could be a 2011 to 2016 Hyundai Elantra. As a result, investigators have been reviewing information on persons in possession of a vehicle that is a 2011 to 2016 white Elantra. Investigators were given access to video footage on the Washington State University campus located in Pullman, Washington. A review of the video indicated that at approximately 2:44 on November 13th, a white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white Elantra known as Suspect Vehicle 1, was observed on WSU surveillance cameras traveling north on Southeast Nevada Street at Northeast Stadium Way at approximately 2:53. A white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white Elantra known as Suspect Vehicle 1, was observed traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman towards SR 70. SR 70 connects to Pullman, Washington, to Moscow, Idaho. Well, we've already heard from Brett Payne that they've lost some stuff along the way and they could not see Brian's vehicle at any point leaving the King Road area. And he could have been driving to Wawai Park because the night of the unalivings there was a rare meteor shower happening. And also that night there was a shooting star that was lighting up the Idaho sky. So he could have been able to catch that on his phone from Wawai Park. At approximately 5:25, a white sedan, which is consistent with the description of Suspect Vehicle 1. Now, why are they calling it Suspect Vehicle 1? That implies that there's more cars involved than just one car. Was observed on 5 cameras in Pullman, Washington, on WSU campus. The first camera that recorded the white sedan was located at 1300 Johnson Road in Pullman. The white sedan was observed traveling northbound on Johnson Road. Johnson Road leads directly back to the West Palouse River Drive in Moscow, which intersects with Conestoga Drive. The white sedan was observed turning north on Bishop Boulevard and northeast on SR 270, approximately 5:27. The white Elantra was observed on cameras traveling around northbound on Stadium Way at Nevada Street, Stadium Way at Grimes Way, Stadium Drive at Wilson Road, and Stadium Way at Cougar Way. I don't believe this is Brian's car that they're catching because we don't ever hear about it. They don't ever talk about it. What about that white Elantra that was wrecked in Oregon and the tag removed? But no, they don't ever want to talk about that. Yeah, they don't want to hear about that. For all we know, that white Elantra that they found wrecked in Oregon could very well be the car that we see in those videos. The same day at approximately 12:58 a.m., WSU officer here's another one. Was looking for white Elantras and located a 2015 white Elantra at 1630 Northeast Valley Road in Pullman. In the parking lot of the 1630 Northeast Valley Road in an apartment complex that houses WSU students. Officer Whitman also ran the car and returned to Koberger with a Washington tag. You see, they left out the part where there was an officer at midnight, apparently bored, and looking in the index for white elantras. Returned to Koberger with a Washington tag. I reviewed. They called them Coburgs. I reviewed Koberger Washington State driver's license information and his photograph. The license indicates that Koberger is a white male with a height of 6 foot and weighs 185 pounds. Additionally, the photograph of Koberger shows that he has bushy eyebrows. Koberger's physical description is consistent with the description of the male DM saw inside the King Road residence on November 13th. No, it's not. What she gave was a generic description of any man walking there in Idaho. I do not give her any validity at all. Why would you wait 8 hours to call 911? Why did everyone at the college know about the murders before the cops? Why was there a large group of people standing out in front? Why did you call the sorority and the fraternity first instead of calling 911? You, Miss Mortensen, have no credibility in my eyes, and neither does Bethany. Further investigation, including a review of Latah County Sheriff's Deputy Corporal Duke's body cam and reports, showed that on August 21st, Brian Koberger was detained as a part of a traffic stop that occurred in Moscow, Idaho, by Corporal Duke. At the time, Koberger, who was the sole occupant, was driving a white 2015 Elantra with Pennsylvania plate LFZ 8649, which was set to expire November 30th, 2022. During the stop, which was recorded via law enforcement body camera, Koberger provided his phone number as 8458, hereafter the 8458 phone, as his cellular telephone number. Investigators conducted electronic database queries and learned that the 8458 phone is a number issued by AT&T. On October 14th, 2022, Brian Koberger was detained as a part of a traffic stop by a WSU police officer. Upon review of that body cam and report of the stop, Koberger was sole occupant and was traveling in a white 2015 Hyundai Elantra with Pennsylvania plate. November 18th, according to Washington State Licensing, Koberger registered the 2015 white Elantra with Washington and later received a Washington plate. Prior to this time, the 2015 white Elantra was registered in Pennsylvania. Okay, his tag was expiring at the end of the month. So what did he do? He went and got a Washington tag since he was living there in Washington, and his Pennsylvania tag expired at the end of the month. There's nothing criminal with that. There's not. There's nothing criminal with getting your license plate changed if it's about to expire. This is bullcrap, what they are doing to this man. Investigators believe that Koberger is still driving the 2015 white Elantra because his vehicle was captured on December 13th by a license plate reader in Loma, Colorado. Okay, because he was driving back to Pennsylvania with his father in the car. Do you really think that his father would ride in the same car that was used in a quadruple unaliving? No. His father would have him pull over at the next gas station and get out of the car. There was no DNA evidence found in his car. There was no DNA evidence found in his home or his office or at his parents' house. If it was really that brutal of a murder, the victim's DNA would be on everything in that car, and it wasn't. Law enforcement in Hancock County, Indiana, on December 16th at approximately 2:26, surveillance video showed Koberger's Elantra in Albrightsville. Yeah, he was pulled over twice in a 2 mile period there in Indiana. He was pulled over. He gave him his license, his registration, and then because they said he was tailgating, and then 2 miles down the road, they pull him over again for the same thing. And the whole time, Brian and his dad is chit chatting with the officers. And this is right around the time that Brent Kopacka was killed by the SWAT, and Brian's dad was telling the officer about it. So they were chit chatting with the officer. Do you really think that if Brian did it, he wouldn't be chit chatty with the officers? No, he'd be sitting there clammed up, and he wasn't. He was talking with the officers. As part of this investigation, law enforcement obtained search warrants to determine cellular devices that utilize cell towers in close proximity to the King Road residence. I just wanted to get this video out there. Um, like always, like, comment, subscribe, and share this channel. Yeah, I'm not done with this case. Everything in this case is sus. You guys have a good Wednesday afternoon, and this is TCC out.